So this video is going to be about how do you get back up? Oy. The first thing you have to know is that we're all going to fall down. And I know that whoever is watching this or listening to this, you're probably smiling right now because you know that it's called life. In fact, the first noble truth that the Buddhists they cite is life is suffering. And it doesn't mean that you can't change the way you think about it, which is good because then everything's not going to be so terrible. But most people don't, so they end up really being more than miserable. So the other day I was minding my own business. I felt pretty good lately. I was really, really tired. And I was so tired that I would work. I do what I have to do, but I'm exhausted. And I would have to spend a lot of time sleeping or doing nothing, as my husband would say. But I'm tired. I can't help it. It's not that I want to be tired. I am. What am I going to do about it? And I had to really fight to get back up because there was no way that I was going to become a victim to my fatigue. There was no way that I was going to have, I'm not going to name some of the things that can happen to you when you become tired, the different illnesses that you can develop. I decided that's not happening to me because I'm not going to live my life tired like this all the time, period. It's not in my head. It's not going to happen. I'm over it. Although I was still tired. So the way I worked with it was that I kept seeing my clients, which I have forever, and they light up my life. I have my daughter, my husband and I went on walks. I went to the gym. I did all these things. And even though I was tired, I did it anyways. And I just kept going. And then when I had to rest, I did because I can't help it. If I'm tired, I'm tired. And then one day, I wasn't allowed to drink any coffee because it makes my brain, I'm more dizzy. I'm on this special diet that I'm not really following like I should if I admit it. But I got this decaffeinated coffee because I found this by Starbucks. Toasted butterscotch lattes. And I was getting the decaffeinated, extra foam. Got to have extra foam, a little extra butterscotch, not too much. I don't like it too sweet. And I would drink it. I call it heaven in a cup. Oh, it's delicious. And before I did that over Christmas, I did the eggnog one. Well, now I've moved to the toasted butterscotch one. And at first I really couldn't drink it because, believe it or not, I still felt jittery. Now, I don't know if it's in my imagination or somehow decaffeinated coffee still has caffeine in it. I don't know. I don't care. But I built my way up so I could drink it, and I was really excited. But in the morning, my husband and I, one of our rituals was to have our cup of coffee every morning. And 1 cup of coffee is not going to kill you. They say it's actually good for you. Is that true? I have no idea, but I'm drinking my cup of coffee. Well, I hadn't for 3 years. I was drinking my lemon and honey. But my husband was drinking this coffee, and now that I'm into the decaffeinated coffee, I could smell this lovely coffee that he makes, and we like really good coffee. We just love it. And as my husband says, the secret is in the milk. You do a half a cup of coffee and the rest milk. And I would walk over and, see him and say, let me have some of that coffee. And I would drink it. And I would feel really jittery, so I really couldn't do it. But one day he brings me a little bit of coffee and I drink it. And I felt jittery. It kind of freaked me out, but I had more energy. Well, he starts bringing me coffee every morning. And I work my way up to a full cup. But remember, my cup is half coffee, half milk. So my half cup of coffee every day. And all of a sudden, I'm not so jittery anymore because I've gotten used to caffeine, which, isn't really good for you. But I don't know. I don't know what the studies are saying now, but half a cup's not going to kill me. And I remember one day I was drinking my coffee and all of a sudden I started kind of getting tired again. And my husband said, his name's Michael, is the coffee wearing off? No, he said, I think the coffee's wearing off. And I just laughed because it was. So now my husband brings me my half a cup of coffee with all my milk every morning. And I hate to say this, but I'm feeling better. I'm feeling a lot better. Well, one day I hadn't had my coffee yet and I woke up and I was really tired. I did not feel good. And I've been feeling, better lately. I've had more energy. And that's a really big deal. I'll get into that in a minute. But I wasn't feeling good. And I said to my husband, I don't feel good. And I'm not going to say, why me? Why did this happen to me? Why did this have to happen to me? Why can't it be different? Because I know I'm no different than anybody else. Things happen to us and we can choose to deal with them and change our thinking around them, or we can catastrophize our thoughts and be miserable, which I'm not going down that road, even though it's difficult at times. And yes, I have my moments, but I pull myself out of them real fast because I know better. It's a slippery slope and I'm not going there. So I just said I don't feel good, because he'd actually come to see me in bed. He brings me my little oatmeal every morning, which I just think is mush. And now he's on a 10-day conference. So while the mouse is the cat's away, the mouse will play. I'm not having any more oatmeal. So I'm not doing it. So he brought me my little breakfast and my coffee, and he sat down in this big chair next to our bed. And I said to him, why? I didn't say why. I said, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And I don't understand why, I've had to age so much, because before this happened to me, I was a young spring chicken. And when things like this happen to people, they can age quickly. So it's not like we have the time to process the aging. And I'm going to speak about that in the next video. It just happens. And you're just like, whoa, what's happening to me? I'm wrinkled. My skin's not the same. I've got to work out again because I've been dead basically for almost 3 years. So I've got to build up my strength and my muscle tone. It's like, let me tell you, when you get sick like this, your body changes. And I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm not saying it's not fair, because of course it's fair. What is fair? What's that even mean? We're all created equal. Things are going to happen to all of us. It's called life. And things could have been worse than they were. So as horrible as they were, I'm going to say that it could have been worse. And I've always held on to that. It could have been worse. I could have been in a death camp alongside of Dr. Viktor Frankl. So I'm going to count my lucky stars is what I'm going to count. I'm still alive. So I sat down with him, and I was just, sorry, that's my phone. And I was just kind of like, I don't want to do this anymore. And my husband can be very wise. He can also be a royal pain in the ass, but he's from New Zealand. He's very sweet. But he just sits there and he's quiet. This is how he is, very intelligent. And he says, Winston Churchill has a quote with his little accent. And he says, and I don't know if this is the exact quote, but it's similar. Maybe it is exact. I don't remember. But he said, it doesn't matter how you fall down. It matters how you get up. Well, the minute he said that, it just like, whew, my brain exploded. And it was true. And I thought, now, wait a minute. So I'm sitting here thinking right now, and my husband and I have these kind of conversations. We definitely live in a psychological household. And we're having this conversation, and I'm sitting here thinking, wait a minute. I'm sitting here thinking about the past. What happened to me? Why did it have to happen to me? I don't want this to happen to me, but it did, and I accept it, and I know the whole story. But I'm tired of it. I don't want it anymore. And I'm thinking, but I don't want to have these wrinkles I have. I'm just not interested. I don't want it. I wasn't thinking why. It was like, I don't want it. But what I was really doing is I was thinking about the past. I wasn't thinking about, well, how am I going to get back up? I guess the way I've been doing it for the last 3 years, I'm going to turn my thoughts around and go on with my life. And I felt better. I felt free because I wasn't living in the past and questioning it. I wasn't thinking I'm going to be like this for the rest of my life. And I know that's not true, but believe me, you live like this for 3 years. Some of you watching this are probably living with it for a lot longer than I have, or maybe have to live like this forever. I don't know. So I know you know what I'm talking about. Hey, even when people break up from relationships or something happens in their life, they think they're never going to get better. That's it. Well, you can change your thoughts around this. And you're not going to think that way anymore. That's what I can tell you. But if I continue thinking about the past and how miserable I am, and who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, I don't want to do this anymore, then I'm not getting back up. I'm holding on to that I'm falling down. I'm falling down. I'm down. Well, I started thinking, well, how am I going to get, what matters how I get up. I know how I'm going to do that. I'm going to change my thoughts, and I'm going to stop catastrophizing how I feel now and say, Rochelle, you're lucky you're alive. You're lucky you get to see that smile on your daughter's face. You're lucky that you get to sit here in bed with your husband bringing you oatmeal every morning and now my coffee. Hey, I'm lucky I get to drink coffee. I know that sounds silly, but I really feel lucky I get to drink coffee. I'm lucky that I get to sit next to my husband while he's sitting in this comfortable chair next to my bed and sharing this quote with me that I think about probably 2 billion million times a day and really helps me think, stop dwelling in the past, think about the now. How are you going to get back up? And how am I going to get back up? I'm going to stop thinking any other way but how grateful I am that I'm alive and that I get to choose the way I'm going to think and enjoy how beautiful that rose is. Literally. That's what I'm going to think. I am grateful that I can sit and do these videos because I can remember a time I've thought about this for several years and I haven't done it because I just couldn't do it. But I can now and I'm grateful because that means I'm getting better. Right? That means that the dust settles, that we think life is horrible and we're not going to be able to fix it. But let me tell you something. The dust does settle. Your life can change if you choose to change your thoughts. And nothing lasts forever. You don't have to be miserable forever. It doesn't matter how you fall down. It matters how you get up. Are you going to sit and think about the past? Or are you going to look at what you have now and move forward? And I think that's one of the most wonderful quotes I've ever heard. And boy, have I heard a lot. I write a lot of them. I read them every day. I study the Tao Ching. I love it. But that's a simple one. It's good. It's good. It's like those words, stop it, S-T-O-P, new word, I-T, stop it. When you hear stop it, like your mother or father say stop it, you don't go thinking about anything else. You stop it, at least for that moment. It cuts you at the knees. Thoughts are stopped. And it's the same thing with the quote. When a child falls down over and over and over again, they don't think, oh, I'm going to fall down. I'm going to stay here. I'm just not going to get up. They don't even think about it. They just keep getting up and falling down and getting up and falling down. And they find other ways to stand up. They don't even think about it. And before you know it, they're running around the house like wild Indians and you got to slow them down so they don't hit their head. That's what we have to do. Now, part of this, I was really tired and just, it was hard to focus. And I still did because I had to. But a lot of times I would say, I just don't want to do this anymore. I was nervous about it. But I just knew, I'll have to tell you, I was pretty nervous about it. I thought maybe I was taking this on, that I'm going to have this fatigue syndrome. And I sure as hell wasn't going to buy into it. So I really fought it. But there was a part of me that was a bit concerned. But I just refused to fall down and stay there. And now this coffee, when I'm really busy and I got a little tired, my husband said, oh, it looks like the coffee isn't working. And we both just kind of laughed at it. And now the coffee pretty much works all day. And I do notice a difference. So I'm going to drink it because I need to feel better. And it's important. But what I realized is when I wasn't so tired, it was easier for me not to catastrophize my thoughts. It was easier for me to say, oh, I have energy. I can think about things differently because I'm not just focusing on how miserable I feel because I was. And yes, I'm able to change my thoughts around it, but it doesn't mean throughout the day that I'm just tired. And sometimes I freak out and say, oh my God, what's going to happen? But a lot of times it was just I was tired. And I would have to make myself do things I didn't want to do. But hey, that's what I'm going to do. But what it made me realize is how my perception changed because I was feeling better physically. Psychologically, I felt better. I do feel better. I may still be dizzy. Yeah, I am. But here's the difference. I don't focus on the dizziness. I focus on other things because I'm not so exhausted. It's not weighing me down. And it's just really interesting to me. And I couldn't have learned this if I hadn't been as tired for as long as I was, which is part of what's going on with me. And I can't say I wish I'd known about this coffee thing a long time ago because for 3 years I haven't had it. I probably shouldn't have had it. And I wasn't always so tired in the beginning. It was more towards the end because I've been fighting it for so long. I was tired, but it was a different kind of tired. And if I hadn't gone through that experience, I would not have learned the lessons that I needed to obviously learn. If I hadn't discovered coffee and said, okay, I'm jittery, but I'm just going to accept it because something's telling me not to give up, to keep drinking a little bit. And I did it very slowly, by the way. I just knew somehow intuitively that I needed to do this. And I know it sounds really stupid about coffee, but sit in my shoes and you're not going to think this. And I'm not telling everyone to drink coffee. I'm just saying in my particular situation, this is what I needed to do. And this video isn't about coffee. It's just about, it helped me to change my perception and to realize that when I was tired, even though I refused to take on the label of I'm one of these tired people, and I have a lot of empathy for people that are going through this, I had to fight it. But what I really learned, and I had to go through it, but what I really learned is how much I really bought into how tired I was. And you're talking to somebody that knows how to deal with it, or listening to somebody that knows how to deal with it and fight through it. But now I can see the light, literally. The sun's out there shining. It comes up every morning and goes down every night, and you can bank on it. And I can see it, and I can see the light. And it really makes me realize how dark those times were. And that now, if something were to happen to me, whatever it is in life, because things are going to happen in life, it's called life, I can see the difference in my perception, and I'm going to even have more power than I did before. And I'm pretty good at this, but I'm going to have more power to go, whoa, I've seen the day and the night. You can't see the night without the day. You can't see the day without the night. You got to know both to understand what's going on, right? You have to know what it's like to touch hot water versus cold water. You can't know cold if you don't know hot. You can't know hot unless you know cold. So now I understand this. And if a situation arises, I'm going to even have more strength to say, it's perception. It's perception. Life is all about perception. And I've now gained more strength in this area because of what I have gone through. So all those times that were, I experienced discomfort, they were only stepping stones to learn more, become more wise, and help me climb up the learning ladder of wisdom and enlightenment, because I had to learn to accept it and make it okay. One of the things I still continue to do is there's many Buddhist practices, but the sun has a lot of energy. It has a lot of power. It rises and falls every single day. There's your first lesson. That's life. It's up and down. It's the way it is. You can judge it as right. You can judge it as wrong. When it's dark, it's not wrong. When it's light, it's not wrong. It is what it is, right? There's a lot of power in the sun. It's bright. It can burn you, or it has this calm, peaceful, lovely way about you. It can keep you from becoming too cold. There's no right, there's no wrong, right? There's balance here. You got to find the balance. So I sit out in my little garden or in this chair that's right by a window, and I close my eyes. It's one of the meditations that I do, especially when I need energy. I did this a lot when I was so tired, and I do it now because I really believe that a lot of this happens to people because you open your mind to let stuff come in. And I believe this silly thing about coffee is one of those things that happened to me. And my husband's very wise words, thank goodness, with his calm little beautiful whispery voice from New Zealand. I've always loved his voice. It's very whispery with that little New Zealand accent. And he's very wise and he's very poised most of the time. So, it doesn't matter how you fall down. It matters how you get up, right? So I'll meditate, and it's you breathing in and you breathe out at your own pace. And if your thoughts ramble on, that's okay. Just bring them back. Don't judge yourself. It's okay. And you can do this for 5 minutes a day. You work your way up to however long you want to do it. Again, there's no right, there's no wrong. The gain is to gain clarity in your mind, right? When we think too much, the water is crazy, right? And I'm drinking Gatorade. I know it's not good for me, but I'm drinking it because it helps me stay hydrated. And I needed it today, so I'm drinking it. It's like a lake. When it's turbulent, the water is moving around because it's turbulent. And the mud comes up because it's stirring up all the mud, and it's like this color. When you let the water settle, the mud sinks to the bottom of the lake, and then you have clarity. The water is clear. You can see your reflection like it's a beautiful, clear mirror. That's where we want to get to. So whenever you're upset, think of the analogy I just gave you. Think of the water. Calm the water. So one of the ways to get there is this meditation. And I breathe in the sun and the power of it and the calm, and I breathe it out around me because I need the strength. I need the healing. I need its energy. And I can feel it through the window, or I can feel it in my garden. I breathe in the sun, its strength, its power, because I need that power. I need that extra energy. And I breathe it out around me. And I just sit and I just breathe in the sun. And I breathe out the sun. And then I'm lucky because I get to a point of nothingness where I'm not thinking about a thing, and I love it. Just watch your breath, breathe in the sun. And there's different things you can do for what you need to work with. But that's the one I've been working with for a long time. I have many, and I'll share them throughout these video series, but this one is a good one. It doesn't matter how you fall down. If you want to live in the past, you are going to fall down again. If you want to take this past and project it into the future, which means your life's a disaster, you are not going to be able to get up. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. It matters how do you get up. And what determines how you get up is how you think. Are you going to choose to catastrophize your thoughts? Or are you going to choose to change them, and whatever you do, the best you can do with what you have, and you can change your thoughts. So I'll say it one more time. It doesn't matter how you fall down. It matters how you get up. And that is something I will be eternally grateful to my husband for bringing this to my attention, because I say it a million billion times a day. And it just takes the past away. It takes the catastrophe away. And I just get back up and I think, okay, what am I going to do now? How am I going to get up? Am I going to stew in my misery, or am I going to get up and keep going? And guess what? I'm feeling better. It's the coffee, yeah, but it's not just the coffee. Let's not kid ourselves. It's also because I've changed the way I think. And yeah, the coffee's given me more energy to do it, and I'm really happy. I mean, it's not like I'm taking drugs or anything. I'm drinking a little cup of coffee. But for me, it's a lot. But I can go for a walk now, and I may be dizzy, but because I psychologically feel better, I have more energy. I'm not even paying attention to how dizzy I am, because I'm just lucky that I'm happy that I feel better. Yeah, I'm lucky and I'm happy that I feel better, that I don't even think about it. As my daughter says, ignore it, mommy. And she's done it before in her own life with things. Ignore it, mommy. And I do. I accept that I'm like this. It's okay. I'm getting better every day. I don't know when I'm going to get better, but that's okay. And guess what? I'm going to go on with my life, and I can do it because I feel better. Perception. I'm not tired, and I'm not taking on this, I'm tired, I'm a victim anymore. Because I've found coffee, and I have found another new way of thinking. And then one thing I will tell you is that, I know there will be difficult times in my life. It's just what happens. Hey, maybe there won't be, but most likely there will. And I know that if I hadn't gone through what I'd gone through for as long as I did, and then seen this new, forget the coffee, seen this new, I'm feeling good. Wow, look at my perception. Look how I took this on, even though I thought I wasn't. Look how much better I feel. I learned to hold the opposites. So God forbid something happens again, and it will. It's just life. Then I can sit in the middle and go, oh, I know what both sides are like. So I'm going to sit here in acceptance, and I'm going to find my balance, and I'm going to know it's okay that things aren't great right now. And I'm going to know that I can change my perception around it, and I'm going to sit with what is and not make it right or wrong. And I'm going to be okay. I hope that this helps you. I hope this has helped you, because I'm doing it and I'm telling you that it works. Thank you.